Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is Paddock Live. That is Joe Smith. What are you shaking your head at?
What's this?
What have I done wrong?
What have you done wrong?
Yeah, have I got the wrong button done up?
No, you should have the top button done. But
right, let me get it right.
Come on. So this is Jay's big night, by the way.
Is that better?
This is great.
Yeah? Do I look all right now?
Yeah, you look good.
I'm glad you sorted that out for me. That's Joe Smith. This is Paddock Live. We've got loads of stories to get through. You might be wondering why am I wearing a suit. I've just been, not to court, to graduate. Officially got a master's degree now, Joseph.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it in? Not wearing suits?
Uni shit. What are you, a fucking fed? Right, anyway. We're going to get...
Excuse me, sir. Can I see your licence and master's degree,
Documentary production for film, TV and digital media. Yeah?
Interesting. Not sure about that, mate.
With a merit.
I'll let you get off with a caution for now, but I've seen no evidence of that.
Don't you worry about that, right? Yeah?
Well done, Jack.
Dropping merits and that. Thank you. We're going to be talking about the Glazers could be gone within 100 days. I mean, that proper gets me excited, that.
Yeah.
100 days. There's light at the end of this tunnel. After 17 years of shite, they could be gone. So we'll be getting into that. We're also going to be talking about some nonsense, and I know I shouldn't sort of start a story or, you know, lead up to a story by calling it nonsense, but it is.
Yeah.
About Bruno Fernandes being wanted by Real Madrid. This is up there with Lisandro Martinez being wanted by Madrid. Anyway, we'll get into that because it's been reported. We've also got the obligatory Cody Gakpo story because where would we be on this channel
There's
without
been an
Cody?
update.
Has there been an update?
Yeah.
Have you done a Cody Gakpo story today? Tell the truth. So have I. So it's the hat-trick. So we're getting into that. We'll also be talking about Jadon Sancho. He's almost become the forgotten man at Manchester United. Obviously not with England. Seeing his teammates doing well. He's, you know, Marcus Rashford obviously smashing it. I feel a little bit sorry for Jadon Sancho because he's the one who hasn't had that redemption arc following the Euros. So we're going to be having an update on what's happening with him because he's been doing a bit of extra training and stuff like that. Get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think about all of those stories. Lots of people saying congratulations on graduation. Thanks a lot. I really do appreciate that. Right, we'll start with the Glazers. It's a good news story, isn't it? That there's light in the tunnel. Go on, I'll let you read us through it.
United sell by spring. BBC Sport understands if the Glazers sell, which is not certain, although, you know, that's the BBC saying that. A deal is likely to be done by the spring. We'll get back into that, which is not certain, in a minute, by the way. The Glazer family, who bought United in 2005, revealed last week they were exploring strategic alternatives for the club, one of which was selling it. It has been stressed a sale will only be concluded if the price is right. That is certain to be far in excess of United's valuation on the New York Stock Exchange at the close of trading on Tuesday, which was $3.65 billion. Like fucking Dr. Evil type numbers, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
$3 billion. But there you go. That's Simon Stone, obviously one of the most reputable, well thought of journalists in the country, saying there that they could be willing to sell by springtime, which is an odd time, but I guess a lot of tax stuff happens at the end of March, doesn't it? Or is it the end of April? I think it's the end of March. Which may have some involvement in this end of Q1. When they have to release their figures and all that sort of stuff to the New York Stock Exchange. Maybe that's in mind, but interesting that it would be by the spring. What do you make of this? Because it's obviously not a particularly quick turnaround, but when you talk about the sale of such a huge asset, 3 billion minimum, probably more like 5 or 6 billion, it's relatively speedy, isn't it? I
think it is, and I think with merit, I think it needs to be. Because I think you look at Manchester United, whoever comes in, you know, is going to have to spend a lot of money as well. Not just buying the club. The ground needs redeveloping. I don't know what's going to happen with all the debt and stuff like that. The training ground as well. Then you've also got, what are you going to do in the transfer market in the summer? You've got to think about that. So there's a lot of sort of expenditure there. There's all these things to consider. I don't think you can be getting anywhere into close to the next season and doing any of this. No. I think it needs to be wrapped up by summer at the latest, and even early summer, so you can give yourself the opportunity to sort of invest in the squad and stuff like that. Also, everyone we spoke to, and we spoke to quite a few people who are sort of, you know, well up on this kind of thing, Kieran Maguire being the obvious one, seems to agree that this is a sale. This isn't, you know, when I saw strategic alternatives, I was worried. And part of it, you know, when you want something so badly, you think, oh, is this ever going to happen? We've wanted the Glazers gone for so long that when I saw that, I thought, oh, is there going to be like a loophole, or they're going to sell part of the club?
Well, like, you know, when you've got like your Sky membership,
and
you're like, oh, I don't really need the movies as well because I don't watch them. I don't need like cinema box office. I can just have sport and I'll just have entertainment. I don't think it's that, like a sort of restructuring. Do I really need HBO Max? I think this is like, we're getting rid of the telly. You know what I mean? Like, it's all going. We're replacing it with a picture of a fire. You know, because you can't have a real fire.
Do you know what? I'd love to see that in our house. I get absolutely stung. Because you've got all them add-ons like Paramount Plus and Disney Plus and all that.
I don't expect you to repeat it now, but your Sky bill, I know the fee is staggering.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's
and I don't earn that much,
it's so good.
Honestly.
No, you're spending all your money.
All my money, right, goes on my Sky bill because I've got those three little people that live in my house that watch all these different kiddies channels. Also, I like my films as well. We like the sport. So, it's catastrophic. What do you feel about this? Because, you know, you've been all over this story since it broke. Do you feel like this is realistic, 100 days or springtime, they're gone? Or do you feel like, I know Simon Stone's reliable, but do you feel like we have to be a bit cautious with this?
Well, I feel like we've been given a sort of a blueprint of how to sell a football club by Chelsea. I know obviously they were forced into action and therefore there was sort of governmental factors that were playing a role in the sort of expediting that deal. But we now know, like before that, when's the last time a football club in Britain sold for billions of pounds? Has it happened before? Is that the first official sale for over £1 billion from
Chelsea?
A football club? Chelsea?
I presume
Liverpool didn't cost billions, did they, when FSG bought them?
So.
I think it was still in the hundreds of millions, and if it was very low. Hopefully we can get that number up at how much FSG bought Liverpool for. But we now have a blueprint of how to sell a club for multiple billions of pounds, and I think that will really help United in terms of getting this deal done in a relatively timely manner, because before, you're kind of making it up, whereas now we've got, again, a lot of these clubs weren't owned by a single family or person before as well. 300 million apparently Liverpool were bought for, which is literally, at minimum, a tenth of what we're about to be sold for. So I think the Chelsea blueprint is massive here.
And do you know what the thing with United is as well? There's a lot to sort out. Like when you bought Chelsea, you were buying something that had a pretty good structure. Had a deep, you know, it's Cobham, is it? The training ground's good. The ground at Stamford Bridge, I think, has been redeveloped. Last time I went there was about 8 years ago, and it was pretty modern then.
And they had those plans as well for huge redevelopment, didn't they, which I think is still kind of stagnated over the last few years.
A decent academy and a decent squad, and you know, they just won the Champions League. What was it, 18 months ago, or whatever. You're coming in United and okay, we've spent money now and you know the squad's looking better, but we still need investment in the squad. All the other things I mentioned, so I won't repeat myself. But there's a lot of work to be done at Manchester United for whoever comes in. Once they've spent a lot of money buying the club. So yeah, go on, what are you smirking at? Go on.
Stefan there put Jay, undo the Gutton, mate.
The Gutton?
And then he's corrected it to button.
It will do later on.
I think Gutton is perfect.
Undo the Gutton.
It's the button that is sort of holding in the gut. Not you typically, but just
so
everyone.
Gutton makes sense.
It's a gut button.
It's a gut button. I think Stefan's onto something there. I mean, what do you reckon? Get involved in the chats, let us know. Light at the end of the tunnel, 100 days, springtime. I mean, I tell you what, it will be springtime if them lot go.
It's something that we'll get confirmation of as time goes on. But I wonder how people like Richard Arnold, John Murtagh, and basically the sort of the current board and the current structure of Man United are feeling about this at the moment, because there's a decent chance. I mean, I won't necessarily say it's likely, but there's a decent chance that you know the new owners come in and get rid of them all. That's not out of the realms of possibility, is it? Like you saw Todd Bowley at Chelsea get rid of the manager. You know, we saw the Glazers at United brought in Ed Woodward. I know he wasn't initially the CEO, but by the end he was. That was kind of, you know, mooted and that idea was brought in with the Glazers. So it's interesting. I wonder how certain people like Murtagh and Arnold's jobs will be in all this, and that new restructure we've seen with Darren Fletcher as well. Whether any of that's going to go up in smoke.
That's my big worry.
I hope it doesn't.
Is the manager. I can't stress enough. Do not get rid of the manager. We have got the right manager for Manchester United. James Wood in the super chat says, Manchester United Football Club returning. Jay, you had an interview with Club United chief exec. Look dapper, mate. Thank you, brother. If you were chief exec, what would be your first order of business?
Stadium.
The stadium?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I would, like they're saying they're doing, I'd price up making Old Trafford the best stadium in the country. Again, I know it's the biggest, but making it the best.
Yeah.
And I'd price up a new stadium, probably just on that, where all the car parks are off behind the sort of Stretford end.
Yeah.
Like props, that land there there's so much land that's basically just haulage crates and car parks that I'm sure United could, do a deal for. Or even knock Old Trafford down and build it, but I'd price them both up, see what the best option is, and maybe even put it to some sort of fan vote. Of sort of trusted kind of, Must and people like that who have got like a good standing within the fan base. Because I think it's the sort of thing that's where the fans go.
Yeah.
The rest of it is for the players. The rest of it is for the staff, for the owners, whatever. But the stadium is for the fans.
Yeah.
That is only, the pitch is for the players. The rest of it is for the fans. So I think the fans should have a voice in what happens with it. And I think, bearing that in mind, especially, certainly season ticket holders should get a vote on what happens with it. Because they're there every single week or every other week.
No, I agree with a lot of that. I think the stadium, yeah. But I don't know, I wouldn't give everyone a vote. If I was the chief exec, I'd just do it.
Yeah, you just knock it down, wouldn't you?
Because I know that's not a popular thing.
Yeah.
I'm up for a new stadium, and I know and I understand it. People aren't because they feel like it's Old Trafford, it's historic. You've got all them memories. But I think they come with you. I really do. And I feel like that. You could rebuild a stadium, have the Munich tunnel in the new stadium. Yeah. It's still on a similar site to where the old stadium is, or if not the same site or next to it. Yeah. So you play in the old stadium while you're building the new one next door, and then you move there. But I understand that. I understand that people have that sort of emotional attachment. And I've been at Old Trafford for 37 years. I've got it myself. I just feel like you can have it. I think we're at the point where a new stadium might be the answer. But,
how many clubs have moved to a new stadium?
Yeah.
Where their first stadium wasn't just shit, and it's definitely better. They definitely prefer it. The fans definitely love it more. All that. Because it feels to me like it's 50-50 minimum. Like it does go wrong a lot. Like I know, obviously, West Ham fans. The general consensus after a couple of years in the Olympic Stadium was that we like that it's bigger, but the atmosphere is worse. We're too far from the pitch, and there's a lot of things that we miss from Upton Park.
Upton Park was a right cauldron as well.
Yeah, and I think
I've been there, and it was the fans were like right on top of the players. It weren't a nice ground to go in.
The Emirates is another one where, again, I think now people quite like it, but to start with, a lot of people miss that kind of
that's another one
atmosphere
where it was
of Highbury.
Very old school and very small. It felt very small.
And even City as well. People talk about
Main
Road, like it's like God. Do you know what I mean? I know, obviously, most of them are just saying that to pretend that they've been there, but again, they've moved into a sort of municipal stadium.
Yeah.
I know United won't be doing that, but do you think that it's? What I'm saying is, are you not worried it could go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's always that chance, but I think when you're spending that much money in this day and age, you should get it right. And we should be able to get it right.
Yeah.
And when you go to somewhere like, I went to Atletico's stadium last season. That's new. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been to the Allianz. That's a new stadium.
People seem to like the Allianz.
Yeah, there's a few stadiums there. People. I've not been to the new Spurs stadium. I went to the old one, but everyone raves about it.
But certain things.
So I think now. Sorry, go on.
Well, they've done it the right way, where they have got the big stand at one end. They have tried to make the atmosphere. Something about the Emirates, because I've been to the Emirates, is like. It feels like a stadium built for corporate seats first. Yeah. Like there's that whole bank of I think like 2 tiers, certainly a tier of the whole centre of the pitch is just a glass sort of circle of like the best seats in the house.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tiered and broken up and there's dips and all that. I just think I like big square stands with fucking shitloads of people crammed into it. And I don't know anyway.
No, I hear you. Listen, another view can be crap, but I like Goodison. I've been at Selhurst Park. I like that Loftus Road. Grounds like that where it's old school. Upton Park was another one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I do think though, like City's a good example. I went to Main Road and I went to the Etihad. The Etihad's just better.
Do you think?
You know what I mean? It's better as well for like things like transport and stuff like that. Main Road was in the middle of Moss Side. I mean, it's I think it's flats now, or the houses and everything. So it could be difficult to get. So I used to go down as a kid, and it was a bit of a nightmare.
Were you a City fan when you were growing up?
Yeah, and then United won the treble, so I changed. Someone will clear it all now and ram that down my throat. Do you know what I mean? Look at him wearing
Well, you can't.
Look at him.
He must be telling the truth. He's a lawyer.
Pretending to be a United fan when he used to go to Main Road and watch. Who was it? David Brightwell back in the day, and Keith Curl and Terry Phelan. Thomas Needham. See, I know all the players. So he used to go. Thomas Needham says, I've lost his super chat now, I'll find it again. Says, no more Yank owners, FSG rubbish, Kroenke rubbish, either surging emotional ties, a fan, or Middle Eastern investors who are ultra rich and money isn't an issue, no more Yanks. I'm going to just say one thing, right? I think, like any walk of life, there are good people from that country and bad people from that country. So I don't care if the owners are American any more than I care what colour they are. My only concern is, what are they going to do with my football club? Now, if these American owners, if the owners come in and they're American and they got to go, first thing I'm going to do is going to leverage loads of debt on the club to pay for this takeover, I'll be dead against it. If they come in and they go, right, we're going to spend money on the ground, we're going to spend money on the training ground, we're going to spend money on the team, we're going to back Erik ten Hag, I'll give them a chance. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not too bothered about the nationality of the owners. And I think, I'm not having a dig at Thomas for suggesting that, because I understand his concerns, but I think just for me to go, Yank owners, no. I think I'd take them on their merit, not on their nationality.
Yeah, of course.
That's just me, you know. And it's the same when, you know, people have to differentiate as well between Gulf states and people from that state. You can say, you know, a Saudi Arabian investor who's privately rich isn't the same as the Saudi government buying your club. And I know the Saudi government tried to pretend it when they took over Newcastle.
Well, the public investment.
Nothing
to do with those, mate.
But I think you have to look at it on its merits, and you know, we can all make a judgment call on that. CM says Spurs Stadium is a soulless piece of metal. Subhankar Pajit says it's sloppy and motty. Stefan Horn says, he was saying I should undo my button, says Jay's the OG, thanks bro. Zippy Penguin Tribute says Jay just walked out of Primark, so there you go.
Don't say that.
Listen,
you just walked out of Moss Bros, actually.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Also, have you noticed this?
Go on.
You've got a Dutch flag in the back of your jacket. Is that because you're Erik ten Hag? Is it Moss Bros?
Yeah. Hey?
Wow, someone's in that sort of...
No, I've got connections, don't worry about it.
Of course you have. When you say connections...
Shoplifters. No, I'm not shoplifting.
What do you mean? You came in wearing 2 suits. You've been stopped at the door.
Mr. Why have you been in this changing room for about 4 hours?
Why are you sweating so much?
Why have you put on 8 stones?
Why have you quite clearly wearing a hat made out of a 3-piece suit? I'm not.
I'm getting a little bit post-Glazer, happy. I am. I'm beginning to get excited. And yes, there could be horrible owners coming in, but the fact that Glazer going, it's just, honestly, it's just what we've been waiting for so long. Right, let's move on anyway. What we're talking about next, our kid?
We are talking about, you're going to love this, Bruno Fernandes open to Real. Yeah? Portuguese newspaper Record, which, by the way, has a record of being full of shite, writes that Real has been interested in Fernandes since his time at Sporting, and they could soon be back for him. Fernandes feels satisfied and complete. Bloody hell, I felt satisfied and complete in certainly ours at United, but doesn't close the door to a step forward in his career, even though he's focused on other objectives at this very moment. Fernandes has a contract until 2026. Fuck this.
Yeah, they're not having him.
No.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Not happening.
No.
The last thing we need is to lose Bruno Fernandes. And also, he's just signed a new deal for the next 4 years. He ain't going anywhere. It's just not happening. And from what I gather, from what we see from Bruno, he's quite happy at Manchester United. He's been given the responsibility of more or less being the captain because Harry Maguire doesn't start most games. So, no, just not happening. There's no money that would make me think, we should sell it.
And also this whole thing of Real have been interested since Fernandes was at Sporting. Like that whole well, I fancied you even when you were fat and ugly, so I get first dibs on you now you've lost loads of weight. Fuck that. Just because you liked him when he was at Sporting. You should have bought him when he was at Sporting, like we did. We took a chance on him. It's paid off. Fuck off.
It is mad, isn't it? Because I remember covering a story for Full-Time Devils when we were linked with him. We were linked with him in the summer, weren't we? We didn't get him until January. I think it was Spurs, Liverpool, and us. And there was no one who you felt was really pushing for it.
No.
And then in the January, was it January signing money? I think we went for him with money from the next summer because the Glazers like the money. But it was weird because you was like, there wasn't this clamour to get him. It wasn't like he was one of the most sought after players in Europe. There was a few clubs interested, but we managed to get him for what turned out to be an absolute bargain.
46 million quid, wasn't it?
Yeah, which,
unbelievable.
He was that guy that went to Everton about 10 years ago, Gylfi Sigurdsson. He was bang average. I know he's, not someone we want to talk about too much. But the point is, he was an average midfielder at Swansea who went for 50 million quid 10 years ago, whatever it was, or 8 years ago. This guy, is one of the most productive players in the world, and we got him for less than 50 million quid. I still can't get my head around it, and I also can't get my head around the fact there's people that question him. Donny van de Beek should be starting. No, he shouldn't. That's just lunacy. So you're filing this under not happening?
It can't be allowed to happen. He's too good, and he's our best player, and he's not going anywhere. I'm not having it. I don't even believe that it's true, to be honest. Forget it.
Yeah. Kieran Grant says Bruno should be captain. Full stop.
Yeah.
Right, what's next on the agenda?
Gakpo!
Cody Gakpo, PSV's finest. Go on, run me through this, man.
Yeah, he could sign in Jan. Exclamation mark. Fabrizio Romano states that Cody Gakpo could be available in the winter transfer window after an excellent start to the World Cup. On his YouTube channel, Romano said Man United are still in contact with the agents of Cody Gakpo. They have new contacts planned to have new discussions with the agents. The relationship is fantastic. Here's the crucial bit. The agents of Cody Gakpo are the same agents as Erik ten Hag, and this is why the relationship is great, and they are working hard on this.
Agents, the same. That's what you want, innit?
Nothing quite like a working hard on
Working hard. We're working really hard on this.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of fire to this, Mo, doesn't there? It seems like Ten Hag's saying he's the guy to come in this January. And for some reason, I don't know why, is it his contract, there's not many years left on it. It seems to be quite low. Like the 40, 50 million pound price tag we're hearing.
Yeah.
For a player that's got, what, is it 14 goals this season so far or something?
17 goals, 18 assists in all comps for all teams.
Right, well, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also he's on for the Golden Boot as well in the World Cup. Yeah. And even if you put the World Cups on side, because you shouldn't buy players based on the World Cup, his club record this season is ridiculous.
It's astonishing. I think he's got as many goal involvements as Haaland this season.
I mean, yeah, if we can get him, and if this can, the fact that there's a relationship between the agents and of Ten Hag and, well, it's the same, it's not a relationship, it's the same agents, then we can make this happen. Yeah, because that would fill a bit of a gap there. Excuse the pardon the pun. Right, I was in a situation earlier today.
Was it in court?
No.
Oh.
And, all I'm going to say is charges dropped, so he was laughing now. I was in a situation on Twitter.
Yeah.
Ornstein and Romano both tweeted. Who'd you go to?
See, what, if they've both tweeted the same news?
They just both tweeted. News.
I would go Ornstein because Romano is spread so, thin.
Yeah.
And I think he does an incredible job, and I think the stick he gets is unfair. But I know Ornstein, he's not going to be tweeting about someone that's playing for, Vitesse Arnhem transferring to Besiktas. He's going to be probably talking about Premier League stuff or real top-end European stuff. What about you?
No, I went with Ornstein, yeah. And it was a Luke Shaw story. He spoke to Luke Shaw. He lost his, I think it was his grandmother, just before the World Cup started. Gareth Southgate said to him, if you don't want to play in the first game against Iran, you don't have to, obviously, understand if you're grieving. And Luke Shaw was like, no, I want to play in her memory. And has had a very, very good tournament. And, you've got to give him credit for that because it can't be easy when you're grieving. Not, you don't have to go into work no matter what your job is. Yeah. And he's carried himself very well. Glenn F says, Jamie man, would you please tell me what you graduated in, as you owe me a super chat from last time. I do owe him a super chat from last time.
You can see what he graduated in, that fucking suit, about 4 hours ago.
It was documentary production for TV, film and digital media. Glenn F. And apologies for missing your super chat last time, and I did say I'd return the favour.
Can I just say, Jay,
of course you can.
You've got a whole different aura going on tonight.
Really?
It's not just the suit. The suit has imbued
yes, I love that word. Good stuff.
With some level of gravitas.
Yeah.
Of confidence.
Yeah.
Machismo, if you don't mind me saying.
Machismo,
You're holding this room at your very gaze at the moment. And I don't quite know what it is, but you've got it, big boy.
Have I got a bit more fortitude?
I think you've got fortitude. I think you've got sort of chutzpah, even, if we could say such a word.
Yeah, no.
I think you really... Would you consider wearing it outside of a sort of, big graduation or court appearance? Because I think this could be the new you.
Do you think I'd get more respect if I started wearing a suit around the house or not?
You'd certainly command more respect.
If I told my kids off and I was wearing a suit, do you think they'd listen to me more?
Yeah. Also, you could offer them a 3-year contract extension and they'd probably sign it. You look like a football manager. I could when I want a word with him, I could say, I want a word with you in my office. Yeah. Come to my office now. Yeah. Right. You said you'd done your homework. Yeah? Yeah. I've had a look. And you haven't. Yeah. We've done the stats. We've done the stats. We've had a look. Opta have got back to me. So that bonus that we spoke about, you can forget about that and you're trading with the resis for the rest of the week. Yeah. Would that work to a 5-year-old girl who doesn't know what any of those things mean? I think it would. In terms of bonus, presumably you mean pudding after dinner. And training with the resis, you mean... What would that be?
Yeah.
Sleeping in
You're sleeping in your sister's room.
Yeah. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. I think you would command more respect. I think everything about you is better when you wear the suit.
You speak, I listen. That is the new tagline of Joe's show. Right, Gakpo. Is it happening in January? Can we be positive on this channel and say Bruno's not going, the Glazers are fucking off, and Gakpo's coming?
If you had to ask me right now, I think we will sign Gakpo.
Oh, that's
and just
money
to say
in
that
the
the telly goes off. I think we will sign Gakpo. I don't know if it'll be January. I don't know if it'll be the summer. But if I had to say, I think we will sign him in January. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I actually do.
I believe you.
What do you think?
Well, based on what you've said, yeah. Yeah. You know, you've never been wrong about these things.
It just feels like it, doesn't it? Do you know how it felt like it just, like with Lisandro Martinez and like Anthony? It just felt like we'd get him eventually, and we did. Gakpo's just got that feeling of like, we wanted him in the summer.
Also, who else is going in for him? Like, who's really after a striker right now?
There's been rumours of Arsenal, rumours of Liverpool.
Well, are they though? Like, Arsenal seem pretty set with Martinelli, Saka and Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think they are desperate for an attacker.
No.
Do you know what I mean? That's their front three seems pretty settled. Who else did you say, sorry?
Liverpool.
Liverpool spent 100 million on Nunes. They've still got Firmino. They've still got Mo Salah. You know, again, do they need Gakpo?
Yeah.
Are they really fighting for that? In the
also
way that
got
Man
Diaz
United,
as well.
Diaz, yeah, in the way that United are in a desperate need, not desperate need, but need of a striker.
I mean, we wanted him in January.
Yeah.
And, in the summer. And that was before we got rid of Cristiano Ronaldo. So we need someone in January now.
James and Zippy Penguin Tribute both say Chelsea.
Yeah.
But again, though, Chelsea have got a bit to. They've already got Sterling, Aubameyang in the summer.
They want to get rid of Pulisic, don't they? They've got Ziyech as well, who's still on the books.
I mean, that Chelsea I could see maybe.
Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, because they've got a lot of players under Chelsea who are about 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Aubameyang's not the player he was, is he?
No.
Like, he's gone. Sterling's all right. Pulisic is all right.
Yeah.
Hudson-Odoi is all right.
Yeah.
I don't think the mouth-watering signings, if you get him, you go, oh my God, I can't believe we've got Christian Pulisic.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel like that is a possibility. But United should be in pole position, especially with Eric Ten Hag.
Great point there from Ross Murphy.
Sorry,
they are about to sign Nkunku, aren't they? For
Chelsea, yeah. So, they're not getting Gakpo and Nkunku, are they?
Not in January.
No. So, yeah, I share your optimism.
Yeah.
Right, what's next on the agenda? Is this Jadon Sancho?
Oh no, it's not. Ronaldo piece
right.
first.
I'm going to be quick with this. Read it out, because there's lots to read out. Sorry, brother.
Ronaldo to Saudi Arabia. Sources have told ESPN that Al Nassr are willing to offer him a 3.5-year contract worth more than $119 million, which is £100 million a year, Jay. A year.
That's unreal.
That's £2 million a week.
Hey, that's
what?
Just stupid for kicking the ball around.
Even I don't earn that.
I know, you don't.
Al Nassr have indicated they would be willing...
Cover my Sky bill, that.
Easily, almost. They would be willing to compensate Ronaldo for the wages he would have earned had he seen out the last 6 months of his contract at United, around $19 million. Ronaldo has asked his representatives to be kept out of negotiations over his future in club football while he is in Qatar, but sources have told ESPN that talks over a move to Al Nassr have taken place. And this is from Rob Dawson as well, friend of the channel, reputable journalist, working at ESPN. He's got his sources, he's well connected, he's just a good journalist, basically. So I trust that this is true. Part of me thinks, who gives a shit, Ronaldo don't play for United anymore, but then this is obviously still a United story to a certain extent, isn't it? Because where he goes after this will reflect on United to some degree. If he goes back to Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid or Juve or PSG, a sort of a giant of football, that will have connotations for United. If he goes to Saudi Arabia, first of all, it makes United go, well, we probably did the right thing if we can't get a game for any of the top teams. He's going for a payday. And also, it means we'll never have to play him again, which is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's all just really sad, isn't it, Ronaldo?
Yeah.
I hate it. I do. I hate all of it. I just, a guy that gave me so many great memories, and for it all to go end the way it did, in pretty much the worst way it could have. That interview and the way it went down and sacking him, basically, or mutual agreement, that was awful.
Yeah.
It was. And it's just sad, and I just want him to, he goes to wherever he's going, Al Nassr, wherever he goes. And I said, me and you did a debate with Webby a few weeks ago. Go and check that out, it's up on the channel if you've not seen it. And I just think time will be a good healer for Manchester United fans and Ronaldo. I know a lot of fans are already there, but I feel like in a few years we'll be like, oh, he was, one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player we've seen.
Just a little bit on Ronaldo as well. Did you see the goal thing at the World Cup?
Yeah.
So Bruno crosses the ball in. He said he headed it, and obviously he didn't. But I love it. I would love to have been in the room when he was like, right, we need to go to FIFA and tell them that touched me. I promise you it touched me. I swear to God it touched me. And they go to FIFA and they go, right, the ball touched me, it's my goal. Yeah. And they went, okay, we'll just check the sensor in the ball. And went, you what?
Check the what?
Check the what, is it?
In the ball? Wait a minute. Who makes the ball?
Well, I'm a Nike advert. But there's a sensor in the ball, so we'll know if you we'll check it.
Obviously, because I'm a Nike advert, you can't trust Adidas.
Right.
So, the best way to go off this is my word. And I promise you, I scored that goal.
We've checked the sensor and you didn't touch it.
Now, are you going to believe the sensor or a man who scored 800 career goals?
The sensor.
With the sensor, right?
We'll go with the sensor. It's Bruno's goal. Thanks, there. I bet the look on his face when they went, there's a sensor in the ball. He went, is there what? Like, I would love to have been in that room. Why? Absolutely shit his pants.
Right, I get it. This is what makes Ronaldo, like, fighting for every goal and all that sort of stuff. But, bro, it's your teammate who's got that goal. Yeah. Like, it's been awarded to him. Suck it up. Have it. Like, just have it. Just take it. Like, there's no need for all this nonsense.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It just seems a bit sad.
It does.
It does to me. And I know, like, a lot of people I tweeted about this, and loads of people accuse me of being a Messi fanboy. And I was like...
I'll be honest, I don't even think me and you have ever had a chat about how good Messi is.
No.
I don't think we've ever chatted about it. We've talked about Ronaldo a hell of a lot.
The only time I spoke about Messi is how annoyed I was with him when he beat us. Yeah. And it's just like... And people then... Jay don't like Ronaldo because he called out the Glazers. Yes, famously. I love the Glazers. Yeah. I just feel
it's... that up with him saying that he used to support City as a kid.
Yeah, that's me.
Send that out. Just send it to everyone you know.
Yeah. I just feel like it's a bit pathetic what's going on.
Yeah.
I just feel like it is. This is arguably the greatest player of all time. Yeah. Arguing about whether the ball touched his hair to take a goal off his teammate. He doesn't need all that noise. No. Just get on with it, man. Do you know what I mean? Bruno got a goal, and yes, I'm biased because Bruno's still our player and I love the kid. But it's just a bit daft. He's going to get a load of money if he goes to Saudi Arabia. It's the way the world's going with this sort of stuff. That'll be massive for them, getting Ronaldo. Yeah. That's, a bit of a game changer for them in their league or whatever. And like I said earlier, I think in a few years' time, a lot of the anger towards Ronaldo or disappointment or whatever by United fans will have gone away. And I'll stand by the fact I still prefer him coming to Manchester United and going through all this nonsense we've been through than him going to City. Yeah. I think if he goes to City, bro, he'd have won that Champions League last season. I don't care what anyone says. Right, let's move on to talk about Jadon Sancho.
Here he is. Ten Hag unhappy with Sancho. The Metro report that Ten Hag has told Jadon Sancho that he's unhappy with his form and has demanded, to see more commitment. As say, Ten Hag has already told Sancho. AS say that Ten Hag has already told Sancho that he's not happy with his form and that he wants to see more commitment in the rest of the season. Sancho is now said to be working to impress Ten Hag, and he was in Holland last week to work with coaches recommended by the Dutchman. I don't know if this is true, but surely it doesn't... surely he hasn't just decided now to try to impress the manager. Surely that should have started in June when he came in. Or last season when he signed.
It's weird, isn't it? Because
I don't know what to believe
in the summer, Jadon Sancho looked really good.
Yeah.
He was linking up well with Rashford and Martial, and you thought them three, they're all looking at it under Ten Hag. Yep. We were over in Thailand, I think it was, wasn't it, for the Bangkok Century Cup when the shone in Melbourne as well, yeah. And you thought, okay. And Sancho had a decent start to the season, a bit ropey in the first few games, but everyone was. Got his goal against the Scousers, got his goal against Leicester, got his goal against Sheriff, I want to say, or was it?
I think it was Sheriff.
Sheriff. And, everyone's like, oh, yeah. Kept getting subbed on a 60-minute mark, though, like, regularly. Yeah. And that's slightly concerning. And then, lately, things seem to go horribly wrong. And the low point was the Chelsea game where me and you were talking about this, we were on the watch-along. That start of that second half was a player who'd gone.
Well, we said, didn't we? After the first half, we said, he needs to start well the second half. And he came out, and it was literally like... Do you know when someone, like you said, is just not themselves anymore? Yeah. You go. Sometimes it's because you're angry. Sometimes it's because you're stressed. Sometimes, but you're looking at a human being, and their eyes are just not looking back at you. He was in that mode, wasn't he? Yeah. He just wasn't even playing football. He wasn't a footballer anymore. Like every pass was going out. He couldn't control it.
Everyone. You've all any level you play football. I'm not comparing it to Jadon Sancho, but You know, when you're having a bit of stink, you think, right, I'll just do a 5-yard pass, I'll just get some touches, just keep possession, so I get it out of my system.
Get my head back a bit.
Get my head back in the game. He couldn't even do that.
No.
And in the end, I think Erik ten Hag, who's pretty sort of regimented with his subs, after like 4 minutes of the second half, had said to Fred, you're going on. Yeah. And then on the 51st minute or whatever it was, Sancho came off because he just had a horrendous first 4 minutes. It was just like, in that second half, wow, something's going on
and
here.
he's not really played since.
No,
and some of that's been injury and other things. But
I'm always a bit wary with these sorts of stories and words like commitment and attitude and things like that, because it's almost like you're pointing at a player and you're going, it's your fault you're not playing well. Because your attitude stinks, you're not trying hard enough. You know what I mean? You've got something wrong with your not wrong with your mental there, but you're not applying yourself the way you should. Do you know what I mean?
There's an application problem.
Rather than you've lost confidence, which I think he has.
Yeah,
now it might be both. They're not mutually exclusive, but I'm just a little bit conscious of saying, oh, it's his fault, it's his commitment, and also Jadon Sancho's got to be going through a bit of time of it, because I said this at the top of the show. You know, in the summer we saw Saka, Sancho, Rashford miss penalties. Not this summer, sorry, the summer before in the Euros. Didn't have a great season, Sancho or Rashford. Saka did. Rashford's obviously come back and then some this season, and this World Cup, scoring goals. You know, back to being the golden boy again, everyone loving him. Saka's already redeemed himself. I hate the word redeemed, 'cause he's got nothing to redeem himself for. But I mean, in the eyes of a lot...
Saka's been excellent, hasn't he?
Yeah, in the eyes of a lot of people, it's like he's back to his best. You know, it's that sort of, you know, arc of redemption. Sancho's the forgotten man almost. Didn't make the squad. Probably, if everyone's fit, I don't even think he starts for United anymore.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He's in a position now where he was signed to play right wing, Rashford on the left.
Yeah.
We've now signed another player that was even more expensive than Sancho for that right wing spot. So you're thinking, well, who is he replacing? If everyone's fit, Rashford's on form, so you're not replacing him. Anthony has been bought by the current manager for more money than you cost. So if we're going to leave one out financially, it's you. And if we're going to leave one out in terms of who the manager likes, it's you. And you can't play up front by yourself or through the middle. So he's in a bit of a pickle, and I'm sure it's difficult for him because he like I said, he went from being the golden boy, the next potential after Messi and Ronaldo era. Talked about as a potential kind of Ballon d'Or winner when he was at Borussia Dortmund. Yeah. That was the standard. It was like him, Mbappe, Haaland, these teenagers that are posting insane numbers season in, season out. The next step could be you're the biggest face of biggest footballer on the planet kind of number. It was that ridiculous. And now, like you said, he's almost like a peripheral thought for England fans, for United fans, and that has to be difficult to lose some of that kind of purpose and role in your life and career. And it might take him a while to come back from this, and hopefully he can. I'm sure he can. But like you said, it's a really tricky spot for him at the minute. And to be honest, I know it sounds silly saying this about someone that's on as much money as he's on, but money isn't everything in life, and I feel sorry for him a little bit.
No, he's a human being, man.
Yeah.
And I don't give how much money you're on. No one deserves the abuse that he got after the Euros for trying to win the Euros for England. Do you know what I mean? Which is just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because he played for United. I thought the treatment of Saka was equally reprehensible.
The old saying, of money doesn't buy happiness. I think money makes you happier than not having money, definitely. But you can still have money and not be happy. Do you know what I mean? It makes you happier, but it doesn't definitely mean you're happy.
Do you think Sancho could maybe play in the 10 for United? Do you think he could that be an option? Because he's not as quick as he is.
I don't think he's
Garnacho.
No.
I don't know. I'm just sort of thinking out loud. Garnacho, Rashford, Martial, even Anthony, all rapid. And sometimes Sancho looks a little bit off it when it's like everyone's bombing forward and I don't know. Sometimes if you're down the middle, it's not as important that you've got that pace. I don't know, man. I just feel is there a way we can get something out of him? Do you think? Or is
I think defensively, he's not. His defensive awareness is pretty poor.
Was you talking to about the Liverpool game?
Yeah.
And he played relatively well in the Liverpool game attack-wise. But he's where I stand in the Stretford end. Like, it was him and Delo, I think, at one point on my side. And he looked a bit lost, Sancho. Yeah. He looked like he didn't know where to go when he was defending. Like, he needed a bit of help. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, he needed a bit of game. But I just thought, right, he looks like he's almost like proper confused. Yeah. Which is surprising for a player who, despite being young, has played a lot of football.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's been helped as well. Don't forget, he came in at United, he had... Ollie got sacked.
Yeah.
Michael Carrick came in. Ralph Rangnick was a complete fucking disaster as a manager, although we liked his press conferences. And now he's got Erik ten Hag. He's had 4 managers since he's come to United.
Yeah, which is shit. I mean?
It's shit.
And let's focus on the positives. He's gone and done this training in the Netherlands, which is a good sign. That means that even if it's That doesn't mean he's going to be back on form as soon as he plays again, but it means that he's doing things that he doesn't have to do in order to get his form back. Hopefully, we can see that he's taking steps in the right direction, because it's difficult, and I'm sure a lot of those players last season, you could see it on the pitch, had allowed themselves to get into sort of states where they know they didn't have to try week in, week out. They knew that if they went a goal down, we're probably going to lose, so who gives a shit? And I think maybe he's finding it a little bit more difficult to snap out of that. Because last season, you go through that squad, they all fucking phoned it in by the end.
Yeah.
And I think Sancho kind of just needs a little bit of a kick up the arse maybe to kind of get that back, and hopefully will, and I'm sure that he can if he does things the right way.
I think he's a good player. I think he's a good kid as well, and I think he'll come good. And I think, personally, I think we can all, you can criticise player performances and stuff like that, but I think we get behind him. We'll see a player there, and let's not forget as well, if we have got aspirations of winning titles eventually under Eric Ten Hag, you need a squad. You don't just have 3 attackers or 4 attackers. No. You have 5 or 6 you can rely on, and I think he'll be one of them. Listen, loads of you said congratulations on my graduation, because I know we've got a pin comment. I appreciate that. Feeling the love. Very, very grateful for that. Joe, I think we're going to wrap it up there, my brother. Where can people find you, what you're up to? It's you tomorrow, innit, Amon?
Yes, Sloppy Joe's podcast, make sure you check it out. As you can see there as well, we are coming to Dublin, our first ever live event. Me, Jay, we wearing the suit? Maybe.
I might do, yeah.
Adam McCullough,
that's to it now.
Stephen Howson and Brian McClare will all be there live in Dublin on the 30th of December. Dublin, 30th of December, live. Tickets available now. Tickets for them are in every single description. Click on the description, you'll see the tickets right there. Eventbrite, go to it, buy some tickets, get them for your mates, get them for your Christmas presents, get it sorted, come down, see us, meet us, watch us, laugh with us, enjoy us.
Yes, please do.
3rd of December in Dublin.
I'll tell you
Make
what,
sure you check it out.
Because we're not going to see Steve now until pretty much Dublin after he's back from Qatar. So this is going to be like our first catch up with him.
I know.
Because he's been living his best life over there, and a little weasel. Interviewing all the I'm just chilling with Cafu. And
some of the pictures he sent in our little group chat
are just ridiculous.
Schweinsteiger.
Yeah.
You John Terrys.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You John Carews.
In Rio and John Terry hanging around together. Yeah.
What was that like? We'll find out on the 30th of December.
Listen, thanks to everyone who got involved. Make sure you're checking out Sloppy Joe's podcast. Don't forget as well to subscribe to this channel. It's Adam McCullough with your news in the morning, and Joe's going to be back tomorrow afternoon.
Jay, congratulations on your Masters, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well
It's never too old. You're never too old to learn. That's my motto.
That's someone's motto for sure. It's got to be someone's.
Yeah.
It's not the motto of a young man, is it? So yeah, I'll let you have that one. You're never too old to learn.
What was it Andy said on the Watch That was it? If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, that's what.
No, he didn't. He said if you're old enough, you're good enough.
Yeah, that was it. That was what he said. We need to get him on. I've not seen Andy for ages. Anyway, I digress. This has been the Paddock Live. That's been Joe. I've been Jay. Thanks for watching.